Welcome to Lifting Leaders Podcast, where we are unleashing leader possibilities to make a better world. I'm Crystal Roberts, and together with Trisha Ryan, we're diving deeper into some of the complexities of the world's most critical challenges and exploring innovative ways of navigating through them.
Through interviews with experts and leaders just like you, we're exploring what it takes to thrive as a leader today and examining new ways of thinking about how to creatively lead into a more equitable, socially responsible, and sustainable future. And the future starts now.
Hi, Trisha. How are you doing?
Crystal, you're back!
We're back.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you.
Back for season 4.
I know. This is our first session of season 4.
Yeah, so exciting. Did you enjoy your break?
You know, I really did. And I'll tell you about it in a few minutes, but how about you?
Yeah, it was nice actually I filled my time. I was going to say to have some time off. I filled my time, but it was nice to take a little break. I feel like I'm coming back refreshed, which is exactly why we think it's so important to take a break. So I love that we are practicing what we advise others to do, that we're doing it too. And it gave me time for creativity and dreaming about some new possibilities and some self-care and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fabulous, but I am really excited to be back. It was kind of funny though today when I was packing up my stuff to come here to record, I felt like a fish out of water a little bit. I thought that, well, that's always an interesting part of taking a break too, is like, can you remember the habits that you had, right? And so I had to think through everything I was doing. It's like, do I have everything I need? And just today, turning on the recording stuff, I'm like, okay, what do we do?
I know. Well, this morning, or not this morning, but you were coming over at a certain time. And so I was going to fire up the computer and have it ready. Not that I thought we were going to just jump right in and record, but it was something that I wanted to make sure that it was all there. And my first inclination, and I know my fingerprint doesn't work to unlock this computer, but I tried it. It still doesn't work. And you
didn't grow a fingerprint?
No, I did not. And I wish I had, but I had to take a moment and remember, what's our password?
Yeah.
And then we did it again.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love what you said about just kind of practicing what we preach a lot. And I think that was really one of the best things for us to do.
Yeah.
And it's funny how sometimes we feel so secure and so confident about saying stuff like that, and how it makes a lot of sense and we're there and we support it. But then when we actually have to go and do it, it's never as easy.
Yeah.
So now, it gives me a different perspective when I'm thinking about saying that to somebody who's a client.
Yeah. Yeah. That we actually feel what that benefit is. And I missed you.
And I missed you too.
And I think that's, a good thing, when you take a break, is it does give you that space, and what seems like is always there, when it's not, then you realize, oh, how much you actually miss it.
Yeah, I think it's good for us to do that. But I'll tell you, for our listeners, we did get together last week for the first time during this whole break.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get enough. I mean, I could have sat there drinking coffee for, 4 days. It was just so wonderful to be back together. Yeah. So I'm glad we are.
Last week, I also had a chance to talk to a few people and give out some of our stickers, and that was fun too. I felt the energy coming back around this, and I was excited, and we've invited a few guests to record, and so all that stuff, it really got the juices going for me, thinking about, what's next? What's next for us?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, what did you do during your time off?
So we did a lot of nature stuff, which was really fun. So we went kayaking, which I always love. And for me, it's almost meditative when you're out there on the water, and it really takes me away. We had family camp. I think I had talked about that.
Yes.
That was really fun. That's when the kids come over, my adult kids come and spend the weekend, and my out-of-town kids come too. And so I get my kids under one roof for a weekend, and it was fabulous. And most thing I enjoy about that is watching them interact. And it's just really fun. So we did all kinds of fun stuff. But one of the biggest things that happened during family camp was Madison and Shane got engaged. So that was really fun. Everybody had a special part in it, a big celebration.
And the pictures are out on Facebook. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I just love them. Oh.
Yeah. So really excited for them to start this journey together. And so we'll be looking at a fall wedding next year. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Lots of time to plan.
Lots of time to plan. And so I'm sure the listeners are going to be really tired of hearing my updates.
We're going to gear up for this thing. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be a show. Yeah. No. So that was super fun. Let's see. I did some things to step outside my comfort zone. And so we canned. We did some canning.
Oh, cool.
I'd never done canning before. We canned Sage's mom's salsa, her recipe. We used her recipe and did that. That was really fun. We canned pickles, beans, and blackberry jam.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So it was yummy. Let's see. Oh, I got to spend a few days in Seattle with my daughter, Sydney. She had a fellowship with the Allen Institute.
Oh.
And that was really interesting to hear some of the things that she was learning around brain science. And so that was fun. Let's see. We did a little bit of boating, explored some coffee shops when Chance and Sage are here. That's their favorite thing. Let's see. Oh, we hiked Mount Rainier, not to the top of Mount Rainier, of course, but went on a hiking. We went on the short trail. Chance and Sage went on the long trail, and that was fun. I went to the Pink concert.
Oh,
finally, a year later.
Jealous.
Right? Holy cow. That was just out of this world.
I saw the some of the reels on that, actually. They showed it on Facebook.
Oh.
And she was flying.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, I love it when she does that. But it was like, oh my gosh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy to be there in person. Yeah, fabulous concert. Just a great thing to think about. How do you break down your mental barriers around what's possible, right? I mean, she just breaks those barriers. You think that's not possible. Because she's doing all that
and that's her
while
thing.
She's singing and she's upside down. Yeah. I mean, it's unreal. Let's see. I worked.
Oh,
I did
really?
work all that time. Yeah, so I was still working. And the other thing, which was kind of a wild and crazy idea, but we had a lot of fun with it, is for ICF Washington, we did in-person coaches cafes all over the state. And my vice president, Marriott, came along with us, and it was a blast, and it filled my heart. So basically my Fridays were spent doing that. So much fun to meet these amazing coaches doing amazing things. And that kind of inspired us for our next, I don't know if we're revealing that yet, but it inspired us. You'll hear about that next time. You'll have to come back and listen to our next episode. We're going to do some special things with coaches. So just coaches are just incredible people, and they're doing incredible work to make a better world.
And I know that worldwide we have amazing coaches. It takes a lot to become a coach. We're both coaches, and we went through we are continuing always going through different things that grow our skills and make us better at what we do.
Yeah.
Washington State has so many amazing coaches.
Yeah.
And these people have all done and continue to do that due diligence to become those strong, powerful coaches that people need.
Yeah.
You know, they're in demand. And we've got a lot of coaches who do virtual coaching outside of the state because they
all
are
over
so
the world.
Strong. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
Very cool.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, so it was a busy few weeks.
Yeah.
How about you?
Same here. It was very busy. I had family in town every week pretty much for the whole time I was gone almost. One set of family would come into town from out of state, they would then move on, and like I'd have just enough time to get the house cleaned up and go grocery shopping before the next family would come. And it was just so much fun. I got a chance to see Pike's Market way too many times.
Oh.
And it was fun. No, it was a lot of fun. And we did a lot of exploring because two of the families that I had visiting with me had not really been to Washington State before.
Oh, wow.
So we did the tourist thing in Seattle. We did Tacoma. I'd never been to the Glass Museum, and I went to the Glass Museum, which
that's a really cool place.
It was very cool. We went to Sunrise, which is
the mountain.
Yeah, and I had not ever really done that
Isn't
either.
that spectacular?
They have a great trail. They have trails there that are so easy to take. I mean, it was easy, and we had to because we had a family member that had challenges, right?
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun. I did get out a little bit, but that was about as much nature as I got outside of getting out of the car and going to the next tourist thing.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. I also did a few things that I said I was going to do. One thing that I said I was going to do that I didn't end up doing was I didn't learn a song on my viola.
Oh.
I tried, but I'm not taking lessons, and so I was trying to do it on my own with the online stuff, which I did get through the scales.
That's good.
That's
where you start, right?
Really accomplished. I used to play viola.
Yeah.
But it's been so many years, I lost the connection with it.
Yeah.
So I am still going to learn, just at a different pace. But a couple things I did do was I wrote. I started writing a lot of things. I did a lot of passages, and I did a lot of kind of drafting plans for things that I wanted to write. And I did a lot of thinking about what our next writing opportunity is going to be here very soon, which everybody knows about because we've talked about it, and that is our hope. We're going to write a book on hope.
Yeah.
We're actually going to write 2 books on hope, which I think is exciting. I'm so excited about it. We'll talk about that more as we get closer to it.
Yeah.
But the other thing I did was I started drawing, sketching. And I've never really been artistic. My mother was an artist. She loved to paint and do things like that, and she really was pretty good. And when she was living with me, when she was ill, I bought some kits that had pencils and charcoal and all sorts of goodies so that you could actually sit down and do something, right? But I got the kit, and I got her a kit, but by that time in her illness, it was a little bit too late, and she really didn't connect with it any longer. So I put them aside, and I was looking around in the closet for something to draw with, and I had a pencil that I brought from, somewhere else, and there were those 2 kits. And I thought, well, let's try it. I've never tried it. We'll see what happens. And I loved it.
Oh, good.
I just started drawing. Right now I have like 12 that I've done, and I'm working on 2 others right now. And I've got an idea for another one. So I'm just going to let my heart take me where it wants to take me with it. Everything is really different.
Yeah.
I've got some faces, I've got some trees, I've got some, whatever I can think of. But, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. And it took me out of everything because I worked as well the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just need to just completely disengage from something that we know. And I certainly was a duck out of water when it came to drawing. I put the pencil on the paper and I went, and now what? And now what? Draw a circle, draw a couple of circles for eyes, make a stick for a nose. And then I decided that happy faces are not something I want to be known for. So I've been playing. It's been a lot of fun. Other than that, I got a lot of cooking done with all my family in town. We did a lot of cooking. And
that's fun.
Some recipes that their mother had given me when I was a child. Yeah. She was my favorite. I loved her dearly.
Yeah. What's interesting about that too is our theme for family camp this year was family traditions. So everybody sent me it could either be something from their past or something they enjoy now fixing. And we made a few of those while we were there, but I also put together a recipe book because I do think that sharing that kind of stuff is it's part of your heart, right? It's connection to your past, connection to your heart, connection to each other through food. And I love that.
Well, I know that we looked at one family, and I looked at a cookbook that my grandmother had written in, and all it was just a little notebook with blank pages. And she probably wrote the recipe for potato salad 3 times, but it was special potato salad. It had a certain kick to it, you know. But she had all sorts of other things that I remember as a child my mom used to make, but I've never made them. So we played a little bit with that. That was kind of fun.
Well, and you said that it was a notebook, and I think that was one of the cool things too when I was looking through recipes, is I have a box, basically, a recipe box that is a mix of recipes from different family members. And I loved being able to look at their actual handwriting.
Yes.
And so that was part of what was important to me, was that it was people's handwriting, because it connects them to who that really is. Yeah.
It's so funny you should say that, because after all my family was gone, I have a big notebook that has recipes, and some of them are ones I've made copies out of newspapers and or out of magazines and things, but a lot of them were pictures, like my dad's recipe for the brine when you're going to smoke a salmon, or and it was his writing, and my mom's writing, and my aunt and my uncles, my couple of aunts, my grandmother, my great aunt, and my sister, and it was like I have a whole family full of handwritten recipes. And it's just, I even have one from a grandmother that was not my grandmother, but it was my aunt's husband's mother. And I grew up thinking of her as one of our grandmas. And a recipe from her for a cake that I don't remember having, but it certainly looks like something I'm going to be making pretty soon. And it was like, wow, that sounds good. So, it was very, very cool.
That's
very
cool. So interestingly, both of us had experiences with family. Was an important part of our break. I love that.
Mine was not expected, but you had kind of planned yours, which you do every year. Mine was not expected, but it was so welcomed, and it was all for great things, just new adventures and welcoming family back home from a, offshore, and another one for just, getting ready for a son going off to college and stuff. It was just really
transitions.
Nice.
It sounds like some transitions were happening.
All about transition. Absolutely. Cool. Good call out.
So I love that. And I love kind of the metaphor there around the recipes and our connection to the past and tradition. And how when we're rooted in that, it also helps us to be grounded, to look forward. When we feel like we've got our feet on the ground, we even talk about it from a somatic perspective, right? We're grounding ourselves, feeling our toes in our shoes and feet on the grass, that kind of stuff for grounding. That allows us to sort of calm our central nervous system, to be able to calm our minds and be able to think new and creative and innovative ideas.
I love that, Crystal. I think, I think about all of the people who listen to us. And, sometimes people are reluctant to take this kind of time off. And they may initially, when they hear stuff like that, think, oh, that's so silly. I don't know if I could do that. Just, it's just so, but isn't it odd when you actually do it, how important it all of a sudden becomes? And how significant it becomes. It's like, wow, I'm glad I walked barefooted through that grass, because I never really stopped to think about, what it feels like for cold grass to be on my bare feet, and how for just 5 minutes I wasn't thinking about the next strategy I have to come up with. Or something.
The next worry of life.
It's exactly. I mean, I listened to a lot of music while we were off, and I always listen to music. It's something I do every day anyway, but I put a lot more concentration to it for that reason. Because I was writing about being on autopilot. How we get bombarded by so many things in life, right? And how sometimes we just throw ourselves into going blank and just just plow forward. Just keep walking forward. That's really all that matters. And it's that forgetting to pay attention to where you are right now. And that's why these breaks are so important. That's why it's so important for us to do stuff like this. Do things you don't usually do, right?
Yeah.
And then do some things that you would traditionally always do, like you did with your family, right?
Yeah.
It's grounding. It's what keeps us human. It's what keeps us members of this community that we're in,
Yeah. The connection, time to connect, that regenerates and rejuvenates us as well. Yeah. For the jumping off of the next big thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're feeling that. We're feeling that energy. We're feeling the hope and the optimism of what's to come for season 4.
I'm just excited about it. I'm just, every year I'm excited when we hit the new season, right?
Yeah.
This one I'm more excited about than ever. And I've always loved our new seasons. I've always loved everything we do. But this one feels different.
Yeah.
This one feels more important. It feels more significant. It feels like it's going to be a whole lot of fun. All of them are fun.
Fun.
Well, we love fun.
We
but
love fun.
I'm feeling like we got a little different fun coming up here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're excited to spend season 4 with you. We're hoping to continue to lift you up as leaders. This will hopefully be just a little spark, little information, little connection to inspire you as you do the good work you do as leaders.
So stay tuned
to
with
make
us.
a better world.
Yeah, keep listening, because I think you'll be happy with this year, I think.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from you. We want to know what you think of this year. And if there's anything that you haven't heard in the past that you really are wondering why we haven't connected on that yet, let us know.
Yeah.
We may just find ourselves doing an episode here really soon that is something we hadn't even thought about.
Yeah. And tell us, we'd love for you to reach out on our Instagrams, our Facebook, through LinkedIn. Tell us, what did you do this summer? What did you do to restore and refresh?
Yeah, I think it's such a great idea, and I'm so excited. So let's keep the conversation going, shall we? Yeah. If you have questions or comments about the show, you'll find us on all our social media channels at lifting_leaders. We have so many exceptional podcast episodes coming up. We really do, with more fantastic guests. So be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. If you know someone who would find this episode inspiring, share it with them. Text them, email them, or take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram and tag us at lifting_leaders. If you'd like to know more about us, our guests, or the show, please go to our website at liftingleaderspodcast.com. You'll find the show notes there as well. If you're looking for help in developing your leaders or would like a growth opportunity yourself through leader coaching, please contact us through our website at www.liftingleaderspodcast.com. Thank you always to Ari Chance Roberts, who is our technical advisor, and we are so proud of him.
So let me just make one comment there. So anybody who's a loyal listener has been wondering what is going on. So we had some technical difficulties. So we did end up taking a significant chunk of a break for recording, but the dropping was kind of wonky over the summer. And that's because we had some technical issues. And thankfully, Chance was able to work with our podcast platform to get it figured out. So we're really hopeful that those tech issues are behind us, and you can count on us to continue to drop every Monday.
There's nobody better. Nobody better. Finally, please take 30 seconds to follow us. It helps you because you never miss an episode. It helps us because you never miss an episode. To follow us, go to Lifting Leaders Podcast Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen. Then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow. While you're there, if you'd be willing to give us a 5-star rating and a review and share the episode with a friend, we'd be really grateful. Crystal, thank you. This is another great fun episode because we're starting a new season together.
Yeah.
Many thanks to you, our listeners. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for staying with us while we were on break. We do appreciate you. Find ways every day to lift each other up. Have a fantastic week.
Bye.